Thanks to you, Aarti. I do not know whether to thank you, the principal, or to thank my wife for being here. Not listening to me, Aarti. I am saying that I am thanking to you. I am thanking you because I do not know whether I should thank you or thank my wife, who is now ailing somewhere. You know that, for this being here. It's a wonderful time that I am having here. Well, I am a speaker also, so I have to share something, which I will do definitely. But friends, I shouldn't have been here. I should have been in Jaipur. There is a very important family function which I have missed, and I am here. I talked to her in the morning. She invited me earlier. My wife is not well. She is sick, and thanks to her, I am here. Okay. And I enjoyed really listening to Fakhruddin's music. The Iranian music, Persian music was a real divine pleasure. Listening to Priya and my friend Shobna Narayan, all of it was brilliant, very interesting. Towards the end, Arunadhay was talking about his own handicaps, about his own life as a child that he was. And that really took me back many years back, maybe 30-40 years back. I won't let you guess my age. None of you would like to guess my age, okay? That something is strictly prohibited. But I have lived many lives. I lived many parallel lives. And probably the subject on which we are discussing today, it has a lot of relevance to those lives. When Arunadhay talked about his own problem as a child, as a growing child, I was reminded of my own time. You know, I was 9.5 or less than 10. And my father was a civil servant. He was a deputy collector in a small town in Bihar. And I was 5th amongst 9 children. I have 6 brothers and 3 sisters, okay? I think you have scandalized all of you, is that correct? 9 is a big number. So 5th, father was not expected to remember my exact age or to understand where I am supposed to land up. He took me to the local Jilai school. In Bihar, we used to call it Jilai school. The government schools are called Jilai school. When the fellow asked me, the principal, that which class was I supposed to be admitted, he told somewhere 6th or 7th. So I got into 7th class while I was 9.5, let me inform you, okay? And then the other thing he forgot to correctly remember was my exact date of birth. So it's wrong by 2 days. I am a Scorpion this month only. I will not tell the dates to them. So friends, that is how accidentally I started my school career. Needless to mention that next 4 to 5 years was a very hazardous journey. I practically failed in 5 out of 8 to 9 subjects. I just couldn't make it. And then I didn't know what to do. My sister was getting married while I was doing my matriculation, we used to call them in those times. And I was forced to stay back and not to appear in the exam. And that 1 year became crucial for me. That became the time of introspection, the time of self-learning, the time when I probably got into myself. And my family, very bright family I come from, I have got very brilliant professors and lawyers and doctors and foreign service officers, all that my brothers and sisters are. And they said, this boy has now come of age. It's like Buddha's enlightenment, so I was there. So it came out of a situation. The situation was most unfriendly situation in my school. Bad schooling, not like you guys, having such a good time here. So that was there. Of course, after that I did my college, and when I was doing my masters, friends, I practically lost my balance. I don't say I became a psychic case, but then I had a nervous breakdown, as they used to call it. And out of 8 papers, friends, I appeared only in 7 papers, got a 2nd class. So my life's ambition to become a lecturer collapsed. It just collapsed. So I went to Jamshedpur, that steel city, and became a lecturer. After 1 year of a very successful career as a lecturer, I was very popular as a young teacher. My boys and girls loved me, I loved them equally. We had a great time together. And then I decided to do something else. 7 of us who were thrown away from the college decided to open a college. And we opened a college for tribals. And friends, those were the times when Naxalite movement had begun. Some of my old friends from Delhi University, they surfaced in that city, Jamshedpur, Chaibasa. Even today, let me inform you that Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand are the real hotbeds of Naxalite movement. And finally, you know, I go there, I work there. So that is how it all started off, that's how it all became. For 1 year, I ran that college, and then after that, I had to get into IPS, the most unlikely appointment for someone like me. Amongst brothers and sisters, I was considered to be the most timid, the most withdrawn, the least communicative, like the boy who just came Arunodaya. I couldn't speak like the way I am speaking today, for example. So these are the kinds of things, these kind of situations which has made me whatever I am. I have friends led 3 very different lives, at least 2. As a policeman, 34 years, I had a very eventful career, extremely eventful career, lot of violence, lot of riots, lot of crimes, things like Rajiv Gandhi assassination, Lalit Mak and Arjun Das cases, terrorist, counter-terrorist operations, drugs, mafia and all that stuff. Had a great time. I wasn't cut out for that, let me inform you. I was decidedly not cut out for that. I was a different character. I shouldn't have been there in the police. I hated to be in police, in fact. I didn't like that position at all. But while I worked as a policeman for 34 years, true to myself, I evolved. I tried to understand my niche. I tried to understand what exactly I was supposed to do. All that happened. And whatever I am as a policeman, whatever I have been as a policeman is something to find out. I can't talk about myself. But I had a very eventful, very interesting career. I am a Gallantry Award winner, let me inform you. I got President's Gallantry Award for some act of gallantry, which is again not something which I ever thought I'll get. So these things kept on happening to me. They kept on happening to me. How much did I contribute to all this is not within my knowledge, but it happened. Friends, the other part of my life, other part of my career has been in the voluntary sector. Some of you would know about it. In fact, 14th November, your boys and girls will go to Prayas function. There is a massive program that Prayas organizes every year. Nearly 5,000 children participate. And your children, thanks to you very much, they go everywhere. So 14th November 1988, I happened to start an organization called Prayas. And this was again a chance. It was just a chance, an accident I would call it. See what happened that time I was Deputy Commissioner of Police Crimes in Delhi, the position I occupied for 5 long years. I had a very tough time, lot of violence. 80s used to be the most violent decade of this city if you go into history and find out. And I was 5 years handling those cases, those crimes, including Rajiv Gandhi assassination, Indira Gandhi assassination, all that happened. So in those times, one of the very small activities, innocuous, unnoticed activities used to be police stations of Delhi. They used to assemble 40, 50 children, the homeless children, the street children, the vagrant children, at times the juveniles, and there was no place to keep them. There was no program for them. In those times, Delhi didn't have any homes like the homes we have today. Orphanages or the juvenile homes did not qualify to keep them. So purely by accident, I decided that I should do something for them, try to create a space, try to create an institution for these kind of children. And as chance to have it, I am very accident prone from that point of view. Accidents take me from one step to other step, and that probably is very true about the subject we are discussing also today. Now, there was a big fire in a place called Jahangirpuri. You know Jahangirpuri, have you heard of it? Jahangirpuri is a slum area of Delhi. It's a very, very big slum, 3 lakh population. Jahangirpuri, there was a fire. Early in the morning, I get a call from the then Lieutenant Governor, H.L. Kapoor, Air Marshal H.L. Kapoor. He told me, Amod, come along with me, there is a big fire. I said, sir, what am I supposed to do with the fire? He said, no, come along, you have to come along. I said, all right. So I went to that place of fire, and there I found a couple of 100 children who had no place to go. I decided to look after them. And that Saturday, and today is also Saturday, is it? That Saturday and now, probably no Saturday has passed when I have not spent a couple of hours with these kind of children. Prayas has grown far and wide, responding to various situations. Today this organization, friends, has nearly 246 centers in 9 states of India. There are 850 employees who serve directly. Nearly 40 to 50,000 children and adults and the homeless and women, whoever, they come to the organization. This entire growth, the story of this growth of this organization has been the story of the unknown, the story of unknown uncertainties. Friends, when we talk about the dominoes effect coming out of or emanating out of a situation that we are talking about, it's all very uncertain. In fact, at this stage of life, when I have been through all these activities, 30, 40, 45 years, I have to come to a conclusion that uncertainties create your life, accidents create your life, disasters create your life. These are the situations which really create your life. The individuals whom you meet, chance by chance, accidentally, as I am standing in front of you today accidentally, not going to Jaipur, being here on the dais, on the stage, these kind of situations where circumstances are created beyond your control, situations happen beyond your control, people you come across beyond your control, beyond your understanding, beyond your chartered work, chartered kind of plan of action. These are the situations which create your life also, and that's the beauty of life. I find life very, very fascinating for the reason that here uncertainty, unknown, chartered, uncharted courses, they create your life and situations. In my life it has happened time and again. One more example. I was, what was I? I was Director General of Police in Goa, okay? And there I had a big fight with the Chief Minister. He's a big man, very big man, and I had a fight with him. In that classic fight, thanks to friends like Arunodaya, I was the winner in the media. Chief Minister lost it. He lost his seat also incidentally after 2 months. But I was jobless. I was thrown away from there. The Home Minister of India thought I was an uncompromising character. I could not manage my Chief Minister. I must be thrown back and sent to Delhi. I was cooling my heels. That was the time tsunami took place. Big tsunami. That big event took place. And in tsunami, I thought, why not go there? I met the Home Minister of India. He said, no, 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 you won't go to Andamans. I wanted to go to Andamans. He said, let somebody else go. Nobody went. Fortunately, you know, one of the senior persons, Meera Kumar, the lady who became speaker and was minister then, I call her Meera Di. So Meera Di, I told Meera Di, I want to go to Andamans. She said, all right, you come along with me. We went to Andamans and we started a project in Andamans. And that's a big project now. And I started a child line, I started a home, I started something for the children who had become homeless and orphans and things in Andaman following tsunami. So it happened there. It happened again beyond my expectation, beyond my preparation, beyond my planning. So these are some very, very interesting things, friends. Well, how do you react to situations? Since we are discussing a subject here where we are talking about the multiplier effect coming out of what? What was the first point of the discussion? Breaking the barrier. That's correct. Now, breaking the barrier. What barriers you break? Which are those barriers? Are they external barriers or internal barriers? Are they barriers created by others or created by yourself? These barriers are all over. I mean, I find my life full of barriers, barriers and barriers. These are all over because situations create those barriers and you have to overcome them. If you don't overcome them and surrender to the situations and get into a negative situation, negative frame of mind, nothing happens. If you are able to just cross over, negotiate, at times turn around, at times be flexible. So these are some of the situations that need to understand. And friends, I would like to say that flexibility is needed. I have found many a times that if I am a very hardened kind of idealist, I am a very sure-footed person, would not like to budge my ground, then probably it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to really negotiate. When you want to grow, when you want to change, when you want to bring about change in yourself, change in others, damn it, you have to change time and again. And that change should not be ethically incorrect. That change should not be contrary to certain ideology you follow. But the change must come. And that change is very important. So my interpretation of the subject that we are discussing today would be that there is a need to overcome the barriers. The barriers can be within you, without you, and that need may probably be required for you to be slightly flexible, to be slightly clever and wise, but you must not give it up. You must not give it up. And friends, towards the end, I would like to mention, all of you sitting here, anyone sitting here, must not forget that you are Indians and this country is a sad country. Sad because, why sad? 85 million children don't go to school in this country. This happens to be, despite being 4th largest economy in the world, this country happens to be somewhere 131 in the human development indicators. The condition of our poor, the condition of our elders, the condition of our children, the condition of our women, our health indicators, our education indicators, our literacy indicators, poverty indicators are extremely abysmal. You have a role to play. You have a role to play. Each one of us has a role to play. Now, it's not necessary that all of us create organizations. Creation of Prayas as an organization, which today, I mean, I very frequently go to Niti Aayog, for example, to advise the government and to work with the government in planning it out for a variety of social issues, economic issues. But then that is not so important. The important is that when you come across a situation, when you come across a barrier, when you come across an obstacle, when you come across a challenge, I would say ultimately, you must overcome, you must try to get the best out of it. You will make a change, be a change. Thank you very much.